There are other places in England known as Staunton. This documentary refers to the Staunton in Gloucestershire that is near to the town of Coleford. There is also another Staunton in Gloucestershire, and that is next to the village of Course. This particular Staunton near to the town of Coleford that this documentary is about was documented in the Domesday Book of 1086 AD as being Staunton in the Hundred of Bromsash. The manor grounds went from the bottom of this hill, where there is now a private field or fields, which are known as Castle Ditch and Castle Meadow, up the hill, and the grounds stop just before the church. There are some buildings up the hill on these grounds, but I don't know if there are any building remnants left of the actual manor house. In medieval times, this manor house would have been fortified to some extent, because the nearest parts of the English-Welsh border were only about 3 miles away. Interestingly, the Welsh border is currently only about 1 mile away, because of border changes that took place in 1974 AD. This medieval stone step feature is a stone cross, and it is missing the cross from its top. And it is next to the main road in between the site of the manor and the church. It is classified as a wayside cross because it is outside of the church graveyard. So that's the wayside cross. The main road that goes through here is very dangerous because it has some bends and it often has drivers that go too fast. This church is dedicated to All Saints. In medieval times, this church was within the Diocese of Hereford. Then from 1541 AD onwards, this church has been in the Diocese of Gloucester. The church building was first built in stone at about 1100 AD, which is about 900 years ago. I'm not sure which parts are original. There has been some work on this church since then, but I believe some of this church is still original. The tower part of this church, the top part of the tower of this church, dates to the 15th century AD, but the lower part of the tower is older than that. That's the door we came in. This is one of two fonts that are inside this church. This font is believed to date back to the 15th century AD. This is the other font. It is very old and square-sided. It is supposed to have been a Roman altar that dates back nearly 2,000 years and then reused as a Christian font. This is the base of the tower, and the ropes are there to ring the bows. A list of some of the local clergy going back to 1139 AD. There is strong Roman history in this area. This area was on an edge of Roman Arraconii, and also it was about 3 miles away from the Roman fort of Blestium, which is now known as the town of Monmouth. Before the Reformation period in the 16th century AD, there was a chantry chapel inside this church, although I don't know which part. There are megalithic standing stones that are on the outskirts of this village. This is the long stone. Originally this would have stood higher above ground level, but over the centuries ground rises and the stone gets deeper under the ground. So therefore lesser stone is visible above ground. It stands next to a main road which a lot of local people believe was built on top of a Roman road, but there was probably a Celtic path here before the Roman road. This is the Buckstone site, which is on the opposite side of the village to the long stone. This stone has a bowl-shaped cavity, which may have been used by Celtic Britons for blood sacrifice. This very large stone is the Buckstone. This picture gives you an indication of the size of the Buckstone. This is me and my lovely woman, and I stand nearly 6 foot tall. Going back to the name of this village, Staunton, which means stone enclosure, and having just a few Celtic megalithic standing stones on either side of this village, I suspect that there were probably more megalithic standing stones in this vicinity during Celtic times and also in Roman times. The nearest proven Celtic hill fort to this village is about 2 miles away at Simonjat, that is if walking through the woods.